So
Yeah, I'm
I
going to
think maybe this
deconvert her
time it'll
if
be
she
different,
listens to
inshallah.
this.
And we pray that Allah keeps you firm on the deen and makes your affairs, makes everything easy for you, because it's not an easy thing
Time
for
for Richard,
anyone,
peace be upon him.
So inshallah.
Well,
that'll be-
during that time, I was where my grandmother was.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
He was horribly abused, so I think that's probably why I also fell away from it. Because
Okay. All right. May Allah make things easy for you, sister, and we all pray for.
But please message me. Please email me. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get the show on the road for you. We'll get you sorted out. Okay.
Yeah, keep in touch.
Yeah, please. Don't be a stranger. This is the key. Don't be a stranger. Join the family.
Coming on now.
Join the chat.
Holy crap.
Like, I'm
For an
live
hour,
all the
30
time.
minutes.
Just come and join the community. They have a Discord. You can join them there. Do you get me? Have a social connection.
No, I'm next.
Okay.
And build that spiritual connection through your salah, so you can learn how to pray and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. I hope all of you have a great day.
And yourself. You
take care.
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. That was nice. MashaAllah.
What a lovely start.
Honestly,
and
in the
I
words
think
of Monty Python, and now for something completely different.
Yes.
Hey.
Man.
So
It's vegan game.
Yeah.
1 second.
So I'm familiar
One second.
with.
1 second. Right. I'm going to give you a minute to make your point. Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
do you have to remove that email from the screen, Hamza? It's just.
I'm sorry.
The email. Do you want to remove that from the screen?
I'm going to remove that. Yeah.
Not this.
Oops. All right. So start now. Go.
So you've made the claim that morality is objective and is created by God, because by definition objective means mind independent and God has a mind. You've made an error here where objective is a misnomer, as morality could not possibly be objective where it requires a mind to exist. You can make descriptive claims that are objective, like if humans were to follow God or Allah's moral principles, they will experience more well-being and avoid suffering. But the belief that well-being is good and suffering is bad, that is subjective, and that is a set of subjective preferences that would require a mind to exist. Now, God may be smarter and wiser and know the best way to live in which would generate the most well-being. But again, the idea that the outcomes God is looking for are good is a subjective preference and thus not objective. So your use of the word objective when you talk about morality is a misnomer. And I would, just because I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with my beliefs, I'm atheist.
All right. You take this, Ismail. Yeah, but just quickly.
No.
Yes, it's yours. Okay. What do you mean objective? How do you understand the word objective?
Well, again, I defined objective as independent of a mind. Subjective is dependent of a mind. That's
Where'd you
how
get
the
that,
definition
independent
is.
Of a mind definition from?
Sorry?
Where'd you get the definition of objective from?
Well, I mean, that's the established definition that's used in philosophy. I believe if you look up any like modern English dictionary, they use essentially the same definition.
Can you quote one?
Okay, like I'll look up Merriam-Webster, maybe.
Yeah, let's see what it says. Remember what he said, without mind, yeah? Objective.
Mind, yeah.
Yeah, so expressing or dealing with facts or conditions as perceived without distortion by personal feelings, prejudices, or interpretations. So that is a different way of saying it, but that is independent of a mind.
No, it didn't say independent of mind. You just added it. You just added it in there. How can you even reading the definition requires a mind?
Right, but
so you can't even know what is objective without the mind. Is that what I'm saying? Or you can't even know subjective without the mind. You can't know anything.
So again,
if you don't have a mind, you're dead.
Right.
You'll
so
be a dead
in
man
order
without a
to
mind.
experience anything, you need a mind.
Did you understand his argument?
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
make an argument. So
he never said. No. How would I make an argument if I never spoke?
So
exactly.
I don't know what he's responding to because I didn't say
well, Hashim was talking. I thought you were talking.
What I'm saying is, without the faculty of reasoning, which requires your mind, obviously, you cannot even be alive.
Right, but that doesn't deal with the logical issue of you claiming.
Well, you won't have logic if you're not alive, my friend. It's irrelevant. Everything is irrelevant if you're not alive.
Right, that doesn't deal with the logical issue of you claiming morality
Exactly.
is objective.
You need a mind to even process logic.
Okay, well, you're not really engaging with the argument I made.
I think you're just ignoring what I'm saying. You don't even realize it.
Well, you're ignoring what I'm saying.
You just said you didn't make an argument. Now you're saying we're not engaging with the argument.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Did you make an argument or not?
So you're the one who's claimed morality is some sort of objective truth from God.
Did you make an argument or not?
Sorry?
Did you make an argument?
Yes.
Right, so what's your argument?
Okay, well, I just read it out. Like, do you want me to formalize it?
Yes.
In like a syllogism?
Yes.
Okay, P1, let's see, God has a mind.
Just cut this.
P2.
Yeah, we reject that.
Sorry?
We reject that, man.
That's why you reject P1, God has a mind?
Yes, because here's the thing, man. You come with recycled Christian arguments of evil, Euthyphro's dilemma stuff. You don't bother to read any of our theology. You don't bother to read how Muslims they've been dealing with this for 1400 years. You don't bother to look that there's a reason why the problem of evil has historically not been anywhere near as big of a problem in our history than
I'm not talking about the problem of evil.
I get that. No, it is the problem of. I mean, you're based. No, it basically this is a tangent off of this. That's why I'm just tackling the base. It is. Yeah,
no, it's not. It has nothing to do with the problem of evil. Do you even know what the problem of evil is?
You're gonna have to be quite Aristotle.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't interrupt, I do. I know the logical problem of evil, the evidentialist. I know Euthyphro's dilemma.
And this has nothing to do with that.
Yes, it does, because it has a point to. It's a tangent off of Euthyphro's dilemma, where Euthyphro's dilemma, for people who don't know, is basically this dichotomy. Is something morally good because God commands it, or does God command it because it is morally good? So what you're saying is, what's it called? The good of God is the objective standard. The moral standard of God is based on a subject, i.e., God. Yeah, that's why if you've engaged in any of the Muslim literature,
so I'm right.
No, we're not. Oh my goodness. I'm acknowledging what you're stating. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm telling you because you claim.
Well, you just stated that God is.
Can you not interrupt, sir? Can you not interrupt? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
So you claim that I don't understand what you're talking about. You claim that this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. I've just disproven both your claims. So take them back or don't proceed.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty well. So you made two claims. The first claim. I don't know. Brother Hamza, why is this camera off? Was this did you turn it off by accident? Because I don't think we turned it off.
No.
It might have been Brother Hamza accidentally might have turned it off because he turned off his. Maybe.
Right. Okay. I see.
Yeah. No worries. The point is, you made two claims. The first claim was problem of this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. Do you even know what the problem of evil was? Showed you that I do know what the problem of evil was in all its three forms that we're talking about here. You said that this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. I've demonstrated that it's a tangent off of Euthyphro's dilemma. Then you admitted that I understand your position when you already made a claim that I don't know what I'm talking about with regards to your position. So you made three claims. I've disproved all three. Now, are you ready to admit and take back everything you said, or are we not going to proceed?
Okay, sure. You know what the problem of evil is. So again, the logical issue here is
that... Do you admit that you've been wrong so far in the last three claims, the only three claims you've made so far?
Well, like, is that ignoring the proposition I made?
Sure. I'm just asking a simple question. Can you answer?
Well, I'm asking a simple question. Is that ignoring the proposition I made at the beginning?
No, you've made three claims. I've shown you that you're erroneous. You've acknowledged that they're wrong.
I'm just asking if that has to do with the proposition I made at the beginning.
No, we're not gonna move to the proposition unless you show that you're.
This has nothing to do with the proposition.
Disingenuous. No, it does, because did you make three claims or did you not?
Okay, I made a proposition at the beginning where I had a 1 minute, allotted amount of time. I'm not saying I'm wrong there. But as far as my claim that you don't know what the problem of evil is, whatever, sure. I was wrong. I guess you know that.
Yeah, no, not just that. I've already said you've made three separate. I didn't look.
You know what? I'm not really interested in arguing about whether you know the problem of evil or not. Like, I'm only really interested in arguing the proposition I made.
It's like you can't even not straw man what I'm saying. I did. You're like choosing to like obfuscate and like try to demean my points by just sticking to some. Like,
I'm the one
it's very
obfuscating?
simple. Yes, you are. So, because
Okay,
here's
well,
the
you're
thing:
the
if
one
you
who's
can,
not talking about the proposition.
my friend, we won't even move to the proposition. If you've made 3 accusations, I've shown you clear and obvious to everybody watching
Is a
that it's
question
not
an
rubbish.
accusation?
No, you've made 3 claims.
So
You've
I
made 3
asked
claims.
you if you knew what the problem
Those
of
are
evil is. That's
questions.
not an
No,
accusation. That's a
no,
question.
no. You made 3 separate claims. You made 3 separate claims. You said this is, first of all, not a you said, first of all, do you know the problem? First of all, no, actually, you said this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Then when I said this is a tangent off of Euthyphro's dilemma, you said no, it's not, and this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. And then you said, do you even know what the problem of evil is? So sure, you want to say 2 claims and then maybe a sarcastic rhetorical question? Fine. Point is that if you're not genuine
okay, sure,
enough,
you're right about
to be able
everything.
to
Can we
recognize,
continue along with the
so
actual conversation? Like, I'm not really interested in
yes.
debating about the debate.
Okay, now that you've admit, no, I mean, it's important to have decorum, etiquette, and to show that you're not somebody who's just here to debate for no reason. Because
Okay,
look, I'm not
that's
see
great. I
debate.
agree. Can
See
we
debate.
actually
I don't
debate
see.
now?
Yes, we can. I mean, I'd appreciate if you don't police my speech and learn how to not interrupt. Thanks. So, point is that by the way, I'll let you speak, of course. I'm not going to interrupt you. So, point is that if you've engaged in the way we, as Muslims, tackle the supposed dichotomy and supposed issue of Euthyphro's dilemma, this tangent that you're bringing, you'd know, is not a problem for us. So, have you engaged at all with what we as Muslims, like how we deal with this at all, or no? Because there's no point of me debating somebody who's not at all engaged. I'm more than happy to teach you our position, but then there's no point in us debating when the other side hasn't even begun to engage with the content.
Okay, can I talk now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what do you want from me now exactly?
Okay. So
seriously, are you trolling or what?
Like,
you just were complaining about things I said about the debate. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about now.
Let me just interject here just to clarify something to both of you. You see, have you engaged with the Muslim literature on this subject?
Well, no, and I don't think I really need to, because I'm here to debate your
That's the problem.
perspective, regardless
Yeah,
of
what
whether or
is
not it's
when you
Muslim or
don't know
not.
the content?
So you're doing a critique on something you've not read?
Sorry.
This is serious, man.
Okay, sorry. Like, I made a proposition, and I'm here to argue.
No.
If
Yes,
you
but
feel like you have
proposition-
an argument against my proposition, then go for
Do
it.
you
I
do you
don't know
understand
how it's
your
relevant whether or not
proposition?
I've read up on
My
Muslim literature.
My friend, your first premise is literally an assumption about about a Muslim theological
Right, so you
position.
can reject the reject the first
my friend,
premise.
Pause, please. Look, I'm sure you've debated many people on veganism, on many other issues. I'm sure you're interested in philosophy, et cetera, et cetera. And if I'm sure you'd know, if you're a good debater, there's no point of debating somebody who is you can't argue with stupid necessarily, or not stupid, ignorant, or uneducated on a topic. You could teach somebody that doesn't know. That's fine. So I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying this. Basically, how much do you know? Because your first premise entails that you've done some research, you've engaged with Islamic positions, and that's why your first premise is assuming a specific Islamic theological position on God.
Right,
so like
you understand that you can reject the first premise and we can argue that, right?
Yeah, but did you understand the first half of what I said? Did you understand the first half of what I said? Whereby I'm not interested in arguing.
It's a yes or no question. Do you reject P1 or not?
I already gave you we rejected in the beginning of this conversation. However, that's not the point.
So you reject P1. God does not have a mind.
Yes.
Okay,
we
so
reject
then we can
that
argue that. I would argue God does have a mind, and you believe that.
No, I mean, okay, look, that's the problem is you can't argue because you've admitted that you've done.
Well, I can't argue because you just keep filibustering. But if you allow like discussion to occur, we can argue.
Oh my goodness!
Speaking English, do you believe in God?
No,
laughable.
I'm atheist.
Well, how can you be arguing God has a mind?
So in the Quran, there's many references to God having emotions like anger. So if something has anger, it would have a mind, correct?
So this is the point. Are you arguing God has a mind because of what the Quran says? Are you doing an internal critique?
I mean, it's not really relevant to either internal or external. Like this
Let me tell you why it is relevant. The internal critique. It's the funny thing is he admits boldly that he's done zero reading on this position in Islam or any. It seems so, but he's doing an internal critique, which is like it's nuts. Like I actually thought, to be honest with you, because like I know you're somebody that does philosophy debates on veganism and stuff. I thought, however, to be honest, like this is this is a standard atheist
in the Quran
approach online. So, sir, you wouldn't be able to explain what's in the Quran because you just admitted that
in the Quran or not?
You've done zero engagement. Of course, I believe in the Quran.
Okay, well, the Quran says God feels anger, so in order to feel anger, you would have to have a mind.
With all due respect, you've engaged in exactly zero amount of Quranic exegesis. So I'd appreciate
well, that's great. I haven't. So, do you believe in the Quran? You've answered yes. Do you acknowledge that in the Quran it states that God can be angry? Sorry?
Vegan Games, it seems that you've literally listened to me for I don't know how long now, and you've yet to capture the whole point, which I've been reiterating to you many times, which is I am asking about your level of engagement to determine whether there is a debate to be had. I don't know about you, but it's quite
engaging as much as I can, but you're not interested in actually arguing the topic. You just keep asking me whether or not I'm a Muslim scholar.
No, you're engaging in the wrong thing. You're interested in engaging in a debate on something you have never engaged in academically or even research or read even as a hobby.
Because you won't argue with me.
No, how you learn is not trying to debate somebody who has learned the material. No, I mean, this is your basic debates.
Well, I don't need to have much of an understanding of the material. Like like all I need to know is whether or not you believe in the Quran and whether or not the Quran has made statements that would suggest God has a mind. And
how do you understand what the Quran says?
Okay, well, I've seen English translations, and there are several mentions of God feeling emotions like anger. So in order to feel anger, that would necessitate a mind, correct?
So do you think that you could just pick up a Quran and start performing exegesis of verses willy-nilly based on your whims and desires?
Do you believe the writings in the Quran to be accurate?
Oh, boy. Do you understand
the writings in the Quran to be accurate, yes or no?
Are they preserved? Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and does an emotion like anger necessitate a mind? For something to feel anger, does it need a mind?
Oh boy, my friend, did you just understand what we just explained to you?
Okay, that's a yes or no question, and now you're dodging again.
We're not dodging. We're giving you a very clear cut.
You're dodging. My God, I asked you a yes or no question, and you can't even answer. Does an emotion like anger necessitate a mind?
But Hamza, do you understand the principle that I'm laying out here?
Yeah.
Maybe
I could debate Hamza or Mansur because he's not even willing to answer yes or no questions, like very simple ones.
I got a brilliant idea.
If you're still listening, do some reading of our literature, scholastic literature, in terms of what we believe.
Wow. That is cowardice to level 9,000. Bro, they have no ability to defend their fucking positions. None. Holy shit. That went worse than I thought it would. That is they're so fucking triggered. I can't believe that they'd get like so terrified of having to acknowledge that morality isn't an objective truth from God that they just kick me off the fucking stream completely. Wow. No backbone, dude. Yeah, like clearly their God is so powerful if they can't even engage with these really simple topics. That's funny. Their audience can't even possibly take them serious. Like, give me a fucking break. What the fuck is this OBS doing? Oh my god. Give me a second. I have to just change my OBS settings. Yeah, that was way worse than I ever thought it would be. Like, I knew like the type of tactics they do when they don't have an argument, but like Jesus Christ, that was bad.
Instead of watching them trying to convert someone, why not look at this cute parrot getting scratches?
You didn't send me a link, but if you send me a link, we can maybe look at that. Thanks for the donation, Birdie. Not even willing to answer yes or no questions, like very simple ones.
I got a brilliant idea.
If you're still listening, do some reading of our literature, scholastic literature in terms of what we believe. You know, do some academic reading and then come back, because you can't debate something when you have zero knowledge on the subject matter.
You know, it's funny. This is you know, supposedly, you know, a popular atheist debater, but you know, this is what we come to expect now from the
streaming this as well to his channel. You know?
Yeah, good. Of course he is. I know his flex. I even know his bad debate etiquettes. But it's fine.
Did I miss anything? I had a call.
Nah,
nothing important.
You missed me eating my chicken.
Right, next. Who's next?
So like this is the best they got. Like atheist debaters, they don't even. It's crazy. Imagine the level of intellectual honesty when you admit you've read nothing on the topic, yet you believe you could debate it and you could argue against it. SubhanAllah, the level of intellectual dishonesty.
I heard the last bit where he kept saying, "Does Allah have a mind? Does God have a mind?" I mean, basically, what he was saying is that, okay, yes, we know that conscious, yes, it's awareness, all these things are there, but he didn't even acknowledge the fact that you need a brain, you need a mind to know objective and subjective. And he's saying his definition was completely off. It wasn't even from philosophy or even from the dictionary which he read. He just made it up, and he's arguing against himself. Maybe he's practicing in front of the mirror today.
No,
anyway, anyone else?
Yeah, let's get
We got someone. Robin Boone.